Good morning, Eagles fans. What an incredible game yesterday. To start off the season 3-0 with new coach, new coordinators, new quarterback a couple days before the game started, the opener started. Never would have thought this. I would have been so happy with just 1-2 to come out with 3 wins against, one garbage team, Chicago, and then to put a beat down on Pittsburgh yesterday, make Ben Roethlisberger look like Eli, throwing his hands up in the air numerous times yesterday. It was beautiful to see. 34-3 victory for the good guys. Amazing stat. Pittsburgh was held to 29 rushing yards yesterday. That's remarkable with the way that team, can run. With their history of running, and then I know with the receivers and everything else, but I expected them to pound it a lot more. Even though they did try to pick on Mills a little bit like that, but Brown had 12 catches, 140 yards, no touchdowns. That's incredible. I mean, the way they were playing yesterday, Jenkins all over the place. The front four just 4 sacks they got. Cox got 2, Logan got 1, Graham got 1. Cox with 1 with the forced fumble. And they just put it to him. Ben had a passer rating of 62.4 yesterday. Carson had 125.9. He doubled him. He doubled the Hall of Famer, and it was just a phenomenal game yesterday. Wentz was 74% completions, 0 sacks, 0 turnovers. Offensive line did a very nice job. Wentz did a spectacular job of getting out of trouble when he needed to. He did have that 1 fumble, no big deal. They got it back. But that touchdown play to Sproles was insane. Stepped up, ran right along the, about a yard in or two from the line of scrimmage. Watching it on TV, seeing a line, it looked like he already saw the line. He just ran right down the line, dumped it off to Sproles, and that run Sproles has, just incredible. Him in the open field, you could see on the sideline. Baldinger was saying it this morning on the radio. You could see the guys on the sideline with their arms up. I was paying attention to it this morning. It was crazy. And watching that video again, Sproles turning the defenders around like Iverson used to do, dribbling down with the crossovers. Guys looking over their shoulder to try to get an angle on him, and just constantly changing their pattern. There's no way they can get that guy. Green Beckham flying down the field. Putting a hit on somebody, I don't know who it was, just to clear some space for him for Sproles to make that cutback for that touchdown. That was a backbreaker. I think that big key was Logan off the start with that block field goal. That really set the tone. And the Eagles, coming back, getting 3 points there, and then working from there. Wentz, 301 yards yesterday, 23 for 31. Smallwood, 17 for 79. Looks pretty good. He's another one. When Sproles goes, I doubt if they're going to keep him for next year with his contract up. I like Sproles though. I think him in the open field like that, they can sneak him through. Linebackers can't catch him. You're not going to waste a corner on him when you got the big guys up there too. Smallwood stepping in, looks pretty decent, especially since Matthews had 2 carries for -5. Who knows what's up with him. Thought before he had some problems with Chip that he was the one that was leaking about the, injuries, and maybe the guy's just soft. I don't know. You look at him, you don't think so, but who knows. Barner had 8 for 42. Peterson sneaking him in a little bit. Man, he's just effective. Every time he touches the ball, it seems like he's getting a pretty good chunk at a time. Selleck, 3 catches for 61. I believe Burton had 2 or 3. Had 2 drops, 2 big drops there, but it is what it is. Wentz hit 7 receivers yesterday. And you start spreading, and he did. I think he hit 5 in the first 2 series. So if you're going to spread the ball around that much that quickly, it's got to be tough for defensive coordinators and defenders to figure out where the hell he's going to go with the ball. Plus, he can get out and run a little bit. It was nice to see Wentz get out and slide a little bit, get out of bounds. A couple first downs I think he carried for it and got out of bounds, which was really nice to see. Something that Bradford couldn't do. Huff had 4 catches yesterday for 20 yards. I don't care about the 20 yards. He actually caught the ball and held on to it. I saw a couple things yesterday about Peterson with his track record with the high school and then being the offensive coordinator for Kansas City when the receivers didn't score a touchdown that season. But then, playing behind McNabb, Played there for I think 5 weeks, something like that, and then McNabb took over, sitting behind Favre for a while. Who knew that he actually paid attention and learned the position and play calling and saw what he was supposed to be doing out there? It's just for him to come in, the Wentz, everything. It's just phenomenal. I'm sure you guys have put a GIF, whatever the hell it is, of Schwartz on the sideline today, or yesterday, but I put it out this morning, of him going crazy on the sidelines. This city loves defense. The way they just ball hawk all the time. How can you not want to play for a guy like that who's just so passionate and everything else? It's insane. Eagles play calling yesterday I thought was phenomenal. Pittsburgh had nowhere to go. They didn't know what to do. They were all over the place trying to get to him. Wentz was all over. Great passes, great checkoffs. Offensive line did a very nice job again. Kelsey actually looked pretty decent yesterday. Nothing was really blown up. I don't know if I didn't pay attention enough to see if they were actually helping him out a little bit more. But whatever they were doing yesterday worked. It's going to be really interesting what they have the bye week now. Lane Johnson thing's probably not going to happen, so he's most likely going to be suspended. Doug's got 2 weeks to work something out, figure something out. Right now, I can't say I doubt what the guy can do. The way the offense is clicking, the way the defense is clicking, special teams is doing well. It's nice to have this confidence for an Eagles football team. I know, I've always watched the games, and I've never said, I'm never going to watch them again. I'm not that kind of fan, but I'll always watch them. I'll be pessimistic. I mean, that's just my nature. I got Phillies hat on, which, they gave up 17 runs yesterday against the shitty Mets. Well, they're actually better than the Phillies, but I can't stand the Mets, and I'll never admit that they're better. But actually, I kind of just did. But yeah, Eagles held Pittsburgh to 3 points. Phillies give up 17 runs. Whatever. But just with the history and stuff. But being 3-0. Well, let me take that back for a second before I even get to that one. Andy Reid 3-0. I think it was his last year. They won by like a couple points. A fumble near an end of the game. They ended up squeaking those 3 games out. They squeaked them out in the beginning. So if I hear, I don't want to hear that, they started 3-0 and then they lost a ton with Andy Reid. Totally different team, totally different demeanor, and totally different games. They're single-handedly, fourth quarter, just pounding the ball and just beating teams up. They're giving up at that point, which was really surprising with Pittsburgh and the rushing. I know near the end of the game, obviously they were throwing the ball a lot more, but even in the beginning, I mean, they didn't run too much, then there really wasn't that much there. I know they were picking them apart a little bit in the beginning there, but I mean, that's not like a Pittsburgh offense to not run that much, And I know Bell's out, but still, I mean, the Eagles got 3-4 backs that they're using. Pittsburgh's got some people in there they could use, but evidently they just thought they'd be able to attack with the air, and it kind of backfired. With them going 3-0. I had to dust off my old 2004 division hat. I got my conference championship 2004 hat, which used to be white, but it's kind of grayish now. It's a lot of dust on that one because I don't wear it. And then also have this one, which would be nice to see it again. Let them cheat again, see what they can do. Hopefully nobody throws up on the field. Nobody throws a red zone interception, brings the ball back off of a penalty, and you throw the interception again on the same damn play. But that's a long ways to go. They got the bye this week. They got Detroit coming out of that. Detroit right now is 1-2. They play Chicago 0-3, which, thanks Dallas fans too. It's a lot of congratulations and everything like that, and you should be thanking a lot of the Philadelphia Eagles for beating up Cutler. And they had a backup yesterday, and they still put up, 17 points with a backup. So that's pretty good, even though you won the game. Still great. They beat the Colts on the road, which was surprising. Then they lost to the Titans at home, and then they just lost to Green Bay 34-27. Who knows? Stafford's got pretty decent numbers. They're moving the ball and stuff. So I guess I haven't really paid attention to them. I don't really give a shit about Detroit because it's Detroit. But I'll pay attention a little bit this weekend. You know, be nice with the Eagles with the bye week. Hopefully, Peterson can follow Fat Andy's rules with coming off the bye week, where I think Andy was. I don't know if he's still perfect. He might have lost one. I'm not sure. I think he was perfect with the Eagles though. If not, I mean, it's a pretty good track record. I think it was 14 years he was with the Eagles. So even if he 13-1 off a bye week, still not bad. But I'm optimistic. I'm sure pretty much 99.9%. Might be one or two curmudgeons out there who just don't think this is going to happen. I don't believe this is Cousins and the Redskins mirage last year, even though they did beat the Giants. But how great was that seeing Beckham sitting there crying for the ball, and then he gets a couple targets and then he drops it. That's great. Then he gets attacked by the field goal net. That was great. If you're going to get pissed off and you're going to punch something, make sure it doesn't come back and hit you in the head, especially when your head looks like a damn horse's ass with that stupid hair he's got. But that was his classic, though. I love it. All right, I will probably do something through the week for the bye week. I don't know, but guys, have a great week. Thanks for watching, and talk to you guys later.